Hey, what's up, everybody? Juan Martinez, a.k.a. Dr. Love.
And I'm Stephanie Martinez, right?
And you've just joined us on This Is Real.
Man, thank you to all the real ones that are listening out there or watching, actually, right? I mean, I figured I'd just jump in because
Okay,
if not,
yeah.
we would have kept joking.
Nice.
And they were like, hey, did the show start yet? And so we might as well just thank our sponsors, man, ISI, for always, because of you, we're able to reach. I think right now we had close to 1 million views. It was like 800,000.
Yeah.
And man, that's just reaching the people. That's just, hey,
the club
thing.
thing.
And so, we want to thank our sponsors because without you, we would not be able to continue to do. I think the last part, they just gave 80,000 iPads to people in Florida. So now we have more and more iPads. So I don't know. We're reaching the whole nation because of you and all those that decide to partner. So to all the real ones, thank you. And, as always, man, we try to bring you the real, right? And so this guy right here, Marcus D. Wiley.
Uh-oh.
What is going on?
What's
man?
up?
Dude. So,
What's happening?
you was in the first season, now you're in the second season. We got, the people want
Yeah.
Marcus Wiley.
I'm flattered and I'm honored, to be here second time around.
Come on, man. Hey, we got to keep this going because when I hear you say jokes like about either pastors and stuff, and this, I say to myself, I will not be
You don't want to be that pastor?
in that joke. So I figure a way
Yes.
that when we look at each other, you go, yeah, he ain't in the joke.
He a real one.
He a real one. Yeah, you're a real one. And so, man, catch us up a little bit. Like, what have you been doing here lately? Like,
So I've been on tour. I'm on tour actually right now.
Yeah.
September 1st, December 31st.
Nice.
Everywhere. Everywhere a check is attached.
Yeah.
And so
Everywhere, not necessarily anywhere.
Yes.
So I did one this year. I did one last year. Same amount of time, September 1st to December 31st.
Yeah.
I was just trying to recoup some of the money the devil stole during the pandemic.
7 times.
Yeah, I was trying to get it back.
Seven
Times.
times.
Yeah. So
Okay. And so before we kind of talk a little bit about that tour and maybe what it's about.
yeah.
What kind of got you into comedy? Like, did you know,
Yeah.
you were just funny?
No. No. I mean, I knew I was. I knew I had wit. And I was funny, around my friends and family, stuff like that. But I really didn't see a future in doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
One, because the people that I like cuss.
Yeah.
They vulgar,
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
was
yeah.
growing up a
Right,
kid.
right.
Everybody cussed.
Yeah,
If you was
yeah.
funny, you needed to
Yeah,
cuss.
you need to cuss. And so it wasn't until a guy who at my church who told me, you don't have to cuss. You can do it clean. I had never seen it done clean. He got me some, watch this, VHS tapes.
Wow. Yeah, we showing you already right now. Hey, I backed up.
It's
I'm
back in the day.
Don't go there.
VHS
Yes,
tapes of some cats and showed me it could be done. And then, boom, rest is history.
Started doing
Nice.
it. Was your father funny? Like, where'd you get the funny? Was it is it your mom or your dad? Like,
Yeah, I think when you grow up in the hood,
yeah.
I think everybody's funny. I
No,
mean,
no, totally.
at
Yeah.
least they have personality.
Yeah, you have to.
And you have to, got to be quick wit because people, they talking about you, they cracking on you, so you got to crack back.
Mama joke back in the day.
all that type of stuff. Yeah, you can't take everything,
That's funny.
so serious the way everything is taken serious today.
Yeah.
And so I think, so both of them, my mom and my dad, they both had, personality and had wit and stuff like that.
Did you ever get into the thing when you told your parents, like, I'm going to do comedy, and they were like, no, son? Or were they like,
No, because I started late. I had already had degrees. I started doing comedy at 28.
wow.
Yeah, so I wasn't like a youngster.
all
you
things
know,
work together right there.
Yeah,
huh?
when I started doing comedy, I was already married. I didn't have children. I didn't have any kids, but I was married. I was in a lot of debt.
So you had to be funny.
I had to be
Trying
funny.
everything.
Yeah. So I had to,
Yeah.
it was,
What'd she say?
circumstances.
You
Who
know?
that?
Yeah, because, you said you had college, you had all the stuff, and all of this. You got to
Right.
have the conversation with the wife, right? Like, yo.
At this point, we really wasn't having conversations about we would just, hey, get a check some kind of way. However you need to get a check in here. I'm not saying do anything illegal, but you see the bills. So yeah.
I'm not gonna ask questions.
Yeah,
Money comes
yeah,
out.
right,
Dang.
right.
Just don't get locked up.
Yeah.
But my wife, she had seen me be so many things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the time we got married. We got married at 24. So she saw me be, you know, a teacher, a volleyball coach, a basketball coach,
That's cool.
a college recruiter, a salesman at Bag and Baggage.
Wow.
You know, so I was so many things trying to find my purpose or trying to find what I was going to do in life. So we really never had to, you know, discuss, hey, I'm getting ready to do comedy. How do you feel about that? You know?
You think I'm funny?
Yeah, just get a check.
Just get a check.
Yeah, she just get a check.
Okay, so you're doing this tour called Marriage is Major Surgery.
Major surgery.
All right, how does that come about? And tell us, you know, because there's some people that might they're gonna look it up, right? And they're gonna be like, all right, let me check this out.
Yeah.
What is it about? Like, you know, why even like why do you say that marriage is major surgery? Like, right?
So what's crazy? Last
everybody
time,
want to get married.
not everybody,
Okay.
but last time when I was here and I did the Love Wins
Comedy night.
Yeah.
conference,
Which, by the
the
way,
conference. Yeah.
you did confirm 2024.
are we on record?
Hey. I have the text.
Is that illegal?
Yeah,
Is that
like,
legal?
is that a binding
Is that a
agreement?
binding?
Now everything texted. Facebook text. It all is permissible.
So yeah, so when I did Love Wins conference retreat,
Conference,
and you had me stay over
Yeah.
and teach,
Yeah.
right? And so that's kind of where it pretty much came from. It came from right there of me teaching, showing how, you know, God did not, you know, when he put man and woman together, it wasn't a wedding, it was a surgery.
Yeah.
You know, it was right there in Genesis.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the birth
Right.
of it.
Yeah.
You know, that marriage is major surgery. And I know it's major because anytime you need anesthesia, it's serious.
Yeah.
You know, he had to put Adam
him
to
to
sleep.
sleep.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's God. He really didn't have to, but why did he? Because I think he was trying to let us know, yo, this serious.
Yeah.
You know, marriage is a serious thing. And so just you know, with the joke, without giving too much of my show away, it's just basically sharing with the people to expect challenges. That's not I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's how it's been designed.
Right.
Yeah.
To expect some challenges, and we have to learn how to get over this and how to deal with that, because when you bring a man and a woman together, it's surgical. You know, you're trying to get two minds to think like one.
Right.
You're trying to get four hands to function as two. That's surgical. I mean, that's what the Bible says. Y'all do believe the Bible, right? It say it say we become we become one. Yeah, so we try to become one.
Yeah.
So anytime two humans trying to become one human, yes, it's probably going to be some, you know, some difficulties along the way.
Wow.
But they should be expected and not like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Which most do.
which most do. Like, soon as they hit a rough spot, it's, oh, man, I chose wrong.
Yeah.
I chose
Oh,
wrong.
this ain't what I thought it was gonna
Or
be.
throw in the
Yeah.
towel.
I'm ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
You know,
How
yeah.
long you been married?
26 years.
And have you had some moments
Most
where
definitely.
you're like,
Oh, no doubt. No. Definitely had those moments.
Yeah.
Probably still have some to come, more to come.
yeah.
But, you know, it's crazy. You brought up how long I've been married, because I waited until I was qualified, experienced enough, certified to talk about it. What we have today is a lot of people on podcasts and
Yeah.
live, Facebook Live, Instagram Lives, and whatever, Zooms. Not saying that your years are not real to you,
Oh, totally.
because they are. They mean everything.
Yeah.
But, man, we just listen to any and everybody now. You know, I was on a Zoom, and a guy, he had all the answers to marriage, right? He had them all.
Yeah.
And the people was loving him, thumbs up, all the hand claps and the hearts just going up.
Yeah.
And even my wife, she was in another room, but she would come to my office and be like, who is this dude, right? Because he had all the riddles and the rhymes, stuff that I don't even agree with.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you did to get her, you got to keep her. Like, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't
agree with that.
because
you
people
know.
change. Everything
People-
changes.
Everything changed.
Season.
And when I was getting you, you know, I we didn't have kids. When I was getting you, you know, I wasn't concerned about your debt or your health or your mom and
all day long.
Yeah, so now
well,
we
nobody puts that in the beginning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, guess what? When you piss me off, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be super angry,
Yeah.
break everything.
Right.
Everybody's like puts their A game on that
Yeah.
application.
Exactly.
To get hired.
Exactly. So he going with all these different things. And then the moderator said, hey, people want to know, how long have you been married? And he said, it'll be 7 months.
We want to thank all of our partners who support us. Because of you, This Is Real has a tremendous reach from Houston to Galveston and up to the Austin area.
This show reaches over 100 prisons nationwide with over 500,000 inmates tuning in weekly to hear the good news through our radio show and the Pando app.
To partner with us, visit juanmartinez.tv or download the free Get Rap.
Sorry. My jaw dropped. I'm sorry.
He said it'd be 7 months and 2 weeks. And literally, all the hearts, the claps,
Stop.
man, it just stopped. Because, again, even though you're married and that's real for you,
Yeah.
you haven't seen enough. You haven't been in it enough to really, you know, have something to say to the masses.
To the
You know, and so I kind of waited until, you know, at least I made 25 years, okay. Maybe now it's something I can say. You know?
Yeah, totally.
good.
You had to overcome some things.
Yeah.
A lot of things. Because the whole I love you. I'm like, you really know love when like you have to like give up.
When you have to give up sacrifice and all this. Yeah.
Yes. Not when you're like, all like, hey,
Everything-
everybody, the homeless guy could pick him up. He's like, I love you.
I love
we
you, yeah.
eating and we shopping, right? It's when it get rough.
It's when it get rough.
Yeah.
That's when you find out
Yeah.
what you got.
Yeah, you give her your last piece of the meal. You give her your
Yes.
coat. You know, your
Yes.
last little monies that you got, right?
Yes. And
Yeah,
so
no-
it's just different. You know, it's just different. So
That's
yeah.
dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And you know, you're funny, educated. What were you gonna ask me? Because that's
Well, because I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
so we were asking about, you know, your mom and your dad. Where, like, your perspective, because I know Pastor Juan shares, you know, I didn't see this. So
Yeah.
the Lord, and obviously we're believers. So
Yes.
obviously God, you know, works to us. But what was that like in your circle or your community, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
this something like your perspective on marriage? And, hey, I'm going to wait and we're going to go through whatever. And I know that I'm going to face challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because you saw it and so it was modeled to you? Or is that because kind of like the people around you instilled it? Or was it the opposite where you were like, man, people are completely doing it wrong. I'm going to do it this way, you know? And then what is that like now in your circle? Because we talk about that a lot where we're like, yo, if you're hanging out with, you know, the husband that's talking about like, man, forget her. And then that's, you know, that,
I mean, then you
that's
forget
going to
her, 'cause
be
that's all
what
you
you're
know.
going to do.
No
yeah,
doubt.
yeah, yeah.
That's a really good question.
That's a great question. And I think all of the above. So I grew up in a household with a mom and a dad. And so I was able to see, and this is a pastor and first lady. So I was able to see a pastor and first lady argue,
Yeah, yeah.
fuss, you know, tripping with each other, still together.
Yeah.
You know, this don't mean you go to the divorce court because she has a mind and he has a mind, and we're working to make the minds think like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
not an overnight thing.
Yeah.
My grandparents, my grandfather just died last year. They was married 74 years.
Wow.
That's another pastor and first lady.
on.
So I was able to see that. And then what I read, you know, of course, I was just talking to my friend driving over here, talking about the Bible. It's like I've been believing it all these years, all my life. And so, you know, it's saying I'm going to have trials and tribulations. I mean, it's in there. It's I know people try to skim over it and just get to the, but be of good cheer, you know, because God has overcome the world. Got that part. But you're going to have some trials and you're going to have some tribulation. And so, you know, I think all of that. Then my own perspective from me being in marriage now, you know, how I've had to learn how to handle my wife, you know, how to, how I've grown, become more patient, understanding, you know, more compassionate. You know, and so just a lot. I mean, you know, and it's steady learning, you know, and because watch this, I saw this marriage in my parents, this marriage in my grandparents, and guess what means nothing with mine? I got to have my own system.
Yeah.
That system worked. This system worked. But now we got to devise our own system.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
And it's amazing because it's all these own systems to get to the same compassion,
Yes.
patient. You know, so
Understand, yes.
what helps you get, you know, like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even though
Yeah.
there's all these ways, those words you said are key that have to be, because it's cool that they role modeled it for you, right?
sure,
And so
for
you
sure.
got to see what he was preaching to. So that's really, really important.
No doubt.
Regardless whether you saw the fussing, because you
No
got to see
doubt.
forgiveness.
No doubt.
You got to see reconciliation,
Yes.
right, all the time.
All that.
Because I go, how can you be a Christian and not reconcile?
Yes.
You know, like the
Yes.
reconciliation is a major part
No doubt.
for us.
It
and
is.
so it's really cool to still hear, you know, hood,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you got college education.
Yes.
You worked until you found, like, it wasn't
Yeah.
like you was sitting at the house smoking
Right.
a blunt, waiting for the
Right,
Lord to
right,
what you do.
right,
Like, I'm
right.
just waiting.
I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
Bible say they that wait.
Yeah. And it seems like you put your hands to the plow in your marriage. Like you
For sure.
you just didn't, it's work. It's real hard work.
It's work. It's if you don't want to work,
Yeah.
this probably is not an occupation you should
Yeah.
you should, partake in.
Oh my God.
It's work.
Yes.
And watch it. It's the hardest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
Marriage. And I don't mean that as in I hate it. I'm just telling you, it's the hardest job. Just like the other day, everything in my household running fine. And just like this, explosion.
Out of the blue.
We arguing. It's
Yeah.
it's just like that. It's like
Disagreement. Colors
how-
come out.
Yeah. How did you go from just everything was cool to boom? You know, and so it's a hard gig.
I mean,
And-
you brought it back. You
oh,
here.
we back.
We back.
Because we're at a point now to where we don't even let stuff linger long.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's what we-
but we grew to that though. That
Yeah, you grew, yeah.
that wasn't overnight. Yeah. Now it's like because we need each other. Like I can't even function in the house. Hey babe, change the TV to such and such. Put the thermostat on such. I don't even know how to work this stuff. I need help, so I can't afford to be
help.
not talking,
Yeah.
not
Yo,
talking
that's
to
funny.
her because I need her.
You're
Yeah.
sweating.
Yeah, I
you're,
need-
you're like, Lord, we gotta make
Hey,
up.
and vice versa, right? Because
And
I've
vice
seen the
versa.
video where the husband's like, man, my wife's not talking to me. So he goes and he like tightens the plumbing in the
Yeah.
sink. And then, he takes something out. And so she's like, hey, babe, will you fix this? And he's like, yes.
Oh,
it
that
worked.
is
Yeah.
hilarious. That is funny.
Yeah. So
We
we need each other now. So man, I don't have a whole lot of time to be like younger me. Oh, I can go. I'm an only child. I could not talk to
too.
you for
Me too.
weeks.
Me too.
I'm good.
Yeah, no, all by myself.
All by myself. I'm
Yeah.
straight.
That's
You the one grew up
Both
with
of y'all
sisters.
only
Yeah,
child.
we
Yeah,
both
yeah,
we
yeah.
both
Yeah.
own this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see,
I'm like,
I
I know
grew
how
up-
to do this.
I know how to do this.
I can
This me.
play with nothing.
Yeah.
I can create
Yeah.
out of nothing. What
Yes.
you know what I
I
mean?
know how to do this well. So
Yeah.
you're not punishing me, not talking to me.
You about to go down.
You going down. You the one that had sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, nah, bro. I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Right now, because I got stuff I need to take care of.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
perspective. It to me, everything is about perspective, even in the midst of that disagreement. Because
Yeah.
when you think, "Hey, I need you," we're because we say this a lot, like we're on the same team. But when
Yeah.
it happens, it's like you do pull out your
Yeah.
colors, and now you at each other. It's
Yeah.
like now drop the flag.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
realistically, you still rocking. Like just because you
Yeah.
have that moment,
We just
that
had a
you don't-
moment.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we good.
In a lifetime,
Yes.
it's just a moment.
It's
in
just a
lifetime.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
We straight though.
That's super dope. Hey,
Yeah.
you said something earlier that I'm gonna ask some of these questions, but you said we was talking about Christian men
Yes.
can't find a wife,
Yeah.
and so you kind of went in a little bit on like
Yeah.
So I got this is real, and
Yeah.
so I know you like talking about that stuff
Yeah.
too. So like,
So, I was a Christian single woman for a very long time. So I know what, the argument,
Yeah.
of like, come on,
Yeah.
be real.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different for women. This is not even about women.
Yeah.
because they in the church, praise.
They in
No,
the
I'm
church.
saying that's
and
why
they
I
ready.
was happy
Oh,
about it. Because
yeah.
I'm like, I like hearing, a man's perspective on
Yeah.
a Christian
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
you are in church, if you're a man and you're telling me you're in church, you're saved. Not that you got everything together,
Yeah.
but you on the right track.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
And you want to be married. That's the key. that you want to be married, you saying you're looking for a wife,
Yeah.
it shouldn't take long.
Mm-hmm.
It would take me literally one Sunday.
And he said,
It would take me one
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Period. So, because the church is littered with good women that's trying to live right, women that make good money, got their ethics and morals, together, and all this type of stuff. What's the hold up?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what is it you looking for? Christian man who want to be married?
Yeah.
What you looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
They out here.
Yeah.
We outnumbered.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes, especially in the church.
Yeah,
church.
yeah.
In the church.
it's
You
majority
outnumbered
women.
by them. So
Yeah.
go pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem really is
They don't want
it
it.
ain't
Ain't
real.
yeah.
It ain't real. They lying.
They lying.
Yeah, they masking it like
Yeah.
they want to
They
get married.
Still, they still in the club. They're
Man.
like, I just want to talk to this one a little bit and this
Yeah.
one a little bit.
Yeah.
That word commitment.
And then what they do, they put a label on the ladies. They tag them with, oh man, she crazy though. No, she's not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She's not crazy. Watch this. She's not crazy. You crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because every woman you meet, no matter how I'm gonna say it, no matter how they got it going on, how much money they make, how well they dress, whatever, how saved they are,
Mm-hmm.
they all gonna come with a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because you a problem. I mean, we all are. We all have problems.
Yeah.
So don't stop telling me about this one is crazy and then blah 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 blah, because the crazy is gonna come out of everybody at some point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's gonna come.
Everything.
The good news is you saw it early.
Yeah.
I didn't see my wife crazy till I was 7-8 years married. You see what I'm saying? So at least you saw it early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stop there trying to label them. Yeah, oh man, she ain't, she this, she that. Like,
Oh, no. Yeah.
you too.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I've been thinking a lot. I think I had said it to the church one Sunday, but because there was this season where everybody had like sermons about like baggage.
Yes.
And how we bring baggage. And I was like, man, did anybody ever think about opening the baggage before you brought it in, right? Like, could you open that real quick?
Let me
I
look at
didn't
that.
hear one
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Now everybody talking about healing. But back then they were like, you come in with baggage. And I'm like, well, why didn't anybody think to say, I want to check your carry-on?
Yeah.
The airport.
The airport do it.
Yeah. Because imagine, then you're like, oh, so you get angry like
That.
that. Okay. We need to get you some classes.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't think we ever do that. We wait till after, and then we're like, oh, well, here's what I got. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, man, I think it would solve some problems.
And I love to hear y'all's perspective on why that mentality, right? Because something I say is like, you date it in the world. Don't try to date the same way, when you're in Christ. And then obviously as a woman, I think a certain way, like, oh, in the world, you're probably like, you'll do anything because you're wifey, but you ain't really wifey. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
you're not wifey.
that's why I can't think that way, and I shouldn't operate this way if I'm in Christ and I'm looking for a husband or whatever. So for the men, what happens, right, in the mentality of, man, like you just said, why is it taking so long?
Yeah.
So if I'm a guy that I'm a Christian man, and I just heard Marcus say, it'll take me one Sunday. What's the reflection? What's the self-reflection there for that Christian man thinking that he's like, well, it's because of this or it's because of that? No. Really, it's because of what, right? Like, what happens in y'all's mind that way?
Why they're not?
Yeah. Why do you think that they're in that mentality?
I think it's pretty, like, to me, it's pretty simple. I think men struggle with, it's kind of like, that another phone is coming out next year.
Come on, it's
right?
good.
I
It's
mean,
good.
you
I see where you're going.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna get this phone.
one, yeah.
Because the next phone,
yeah.
the camera is gonna be better. We've been saying the camera is gonna be better forever. So I feel like we have this fear of like,
Missing
if I
out. FOMO.
FOMO, right? Like she cute, but I want one.
What is FOMO?
Like,
I missed it.
fear of missing
Fear of
out.
missing
Oh,
out.
fear of missing out.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey. There it is. Okay. That is.
Yeah. So I think like because when you're in the world, commitment is a very, very low word,
Oh,
but
man.
it's if even there, right? But you
yeah.
might say it like, because you got game.
Yeah, you
so
got
you're
game.
saying a lot of stuff
yeah.
that you ain't really, you're just selling yourself high.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
The girl talking to you and every man, right? The girl talking to you and she's saying, yeah, my last relationship. And so you play on that, right?
Yeah.
Without even knowing you that devious,
yeah,
right? You
yeah,
like, because
yeah.
you didn't do it intentionally,
Yes.
but it kick on.
But
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I know that iPhone 13.
Yeah.
I love
The
this.
camera's not that good,
Yeah.
but my camera,
Yeah.
my camera,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
capture everything.
Yeah.
Right? And so you sell yourself big to the weakness of whatever it was,
Yeah.
right? All the time.
Yeah.
If he did something, but what you didn't say is that, you had a cracked screen.
Yeah.
And you didn't
Yeah.
say because, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just,
But also what's crazy about that is they keep making good-looking women, right? I'm just going to be honest with you.
no. Yeah, now they just
Like-
dropping some money.
Yeah, I'm saying
No.
they just keep making them, and then they're everywhere. You pick up your phone, they all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at some point, when you're a grown man, you have to realize that they're gonna keep making them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not going anywhere.
Totally.
So you're gonna always. It's gonna always be iPhone, the next iPhone,
Yeah.
if I may use.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
gonna always be that.
Yeah.
But brother, when will you get one and keep it? And love my iPhone.
Yeah.
You know
'cause
what I'm
you
saying?
content.
Yeah,
at that
because I'm
point.
yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People think when you marry you blind. Like I see.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at this.
Oh, no, totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not blind. I don't know why people. I remember one day, this is crazy. I was somewhere and I was sitting there, and the ladies at this restaurant, they knew me.
Yeah.
And the waitress, she was fine, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and the waitress walked by, and I look. Ooh. So the lady said, "Ooh, I saw you." No, she said, "I saw you."
She said,
I said, "You saw me what?" I saw you looking at that lady. I said, "I'm gonna look at her again when she walked back by." That's what I told her. I'm gonna look again. I say, "See, y'all problem is you worrying about me looking at this attractive lady. I just looking at. I don't want her. I'm have sight. I'm looking at her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your problem should have been with me if I didn't look at her.
Yeah.
What's wrong now? But now what's the problem? But yeah, I looked at. But my point in saying all that is, that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's there. Why you say, what's the difference between me? If I see a car I like, I look at it. I have a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I see a car, oh man, that's a nice looking
That's a
car.
nice looking car.
Mm-hmm.
No, nobody. It's nobody is going. Oh, I saw you looking at that car.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I did. I didn't. Ooh, I went. Ooh, look at her. Ooh, I wasn't doing none of
You
that.
start
Yeah.
following her around.
Yeah, I just
the
started following around the restaurant. I
Yeah,
just.
that's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're gonna keep coming. You know, they're gonna keep making them, but at some point you gotta pick. You gotta pick one. You gotta stick with your pick.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. You got to be, it's kind of also like, I remember when we were buying our house, our first house. And when we was looking, we saw this house and we were like, man,
Yeah.
because you start going to the houses
Yeah.
maybe that you're like,
Yeah.
wow, this is amazing. But what we realized is we like this one, but maybe this, and this is not there. And then we go to the next one. We like this one,
Yeah.
but this,
And
and
this
this.
and-
How we finally bought the house was we had the non-negotiables, right?
Okay.
We need a big bedroom.
Bedroom.
We wanted the kitchen. Guest room can be tiny.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
once we knew
what
then
we
that's
wanted.
what- all the other houses, it doesn't matter if Jay-Z got a $250 million
Right.
mansion.
Right.
I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
But we good.
We good.
You
We
know, unless somebody
good.
gifted me that.
Right,
you
right,
know,
for sure.
But we good.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same concept. Like, I love my wife. And you're right.
Yeah.
Once you know, like, I love my wife, and that's the one I'm following around.
Yes.
Because as long as you keep your eyes,
Yes.
you can.
Yes.
I tell guys all the time, you can bounce, but if
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's the
for
problem.
sure.
Don't stay playing ping pong.
Yeah.
You know?
Not at all. You know.
yeah, because then you get in trouble.
For sure.
You
I
know.
think that's a healthy place for both, right? Both
Yeah.
genders
Yeah.
of like,
Yes.
we're not like all of a sudden you get married and now everybody's ugly. Like,
Yeah,
no.
it don't work like that.
That's not how it
We
works.
can watch TV and my wife be like, "Oh, he's handsome."
Oh no,
and
all
I'll
day
be like,
long. All day long. Yeah.
Yeah.
"Yeah." I even agree.
Yeah.
He is handsome, but he's
Yeah.
pretty
I
handsome
mean,
guy.
you start having problems when you know
Yeah.
your wife done watch Aquaman 4 times. You know what I'm saying? And she smiled at the same part. So she like, oh, Thor is coming out? You're like, wow, you're into all that. You know, the kids are happy and my wife.
It's the storyline. It's the
Yeah, I gotta catch up.
storyline,
So
not
you-
the shirtless man.
Even she knew the part.
She knew the
I
part.
mean,
No, I'm
everybody.
kidding. I don't know.
You know,
but
that's
if it was a
exactly
different
the
one,
part.
I would definitely agree.
But that's my point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly the part,
Yeah.
right? She's like, oh yeah, praise. You know, he's gonna. I'm like, what? It's,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's cool to talk about, because I feel like sometimes it is, especially in church, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought where you were going was
Go ahead.
something, but I feel like we talked about it before. It was like the labels, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about they label them crazy, and I was thinking you were gonna say they label them sister, and so now everybody's my sister in Christ.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
Oh.
why make it
I don't
weird? Like
I
I
don't wanna
get
hear
it,
that.
but if it's the person that like you're interested in or you want, to date,
Yeah.
don't hit them with the sister,
Sister,
one,
yeah, my
because I'm
sister
like,
in
now you're my
Christ.
brother, and I don't,
My sister. You don't even use this term until now. My sister in Christ. Yeah.
But
Got it.
That's cool. That's cool to hear.
My
Okay, I want to ask you. Let me see something. Okay, so there's this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an old thing for you,
Okay.
but it might be a new thing.
Okay.
Right. And so since we're talking about, we talked about marriage surgery, we talked about the guy who really is horny with no commitment, and then right, like
Yeah.
he just horny and don't want to commit.
Mm-hmm.
But then you added a word,
Mm-hmm.
and that word was holy.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, what is this holy
Yeah.
and horny?
Yeah.
Can you have them both?
Yes, you can. So the term, a phrase I used years ago, how to live holy when you're horny.
How to live holy
Yeah.
when you're horny.
How to live holy when you're horny.
This might help some of these men out there.
Yeah, well, this way
And
you
women.
this
And
way
women.
you
Oh, yeah,
find
yeah,
this way
totally.
you find pretty much everybody hear perspective. This way you find because I think everybody is horny for something. Now let me break it down. This is my intentions. Horny, when I look up definition, it means seeking sexual gratification.
Okay.
That's if you go look it up. That's what horny is going to say. Seeking sexual gratification. Context I was using it in was I put seeking blank gratification.
Yeah.
So people come to church Sunday in, Sunday out, and they seek in God for some type of gratification,
Right.
whether it's a man, whether it's a job, whether it's money, whether it's purpose, whether they seek it. The problem is when you're horny, you don't hear straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, most people, when you're horny, you don't hear straight. When you know it, now you're not using the original definition.
Yeah, yeah.
You know when you want it, you don't. You don't. If she say you want to come to my place, well, I want to come to your place. She said, man, just come watch a movie. But you hear something totally
Oh,
different.
totally different.
Right. So even with this context, people don't hear straight. They're not clear because they're seeking things from God, and now and you'll hear people, man, God told me to. Did he really? I mean, God said do this, God said do that. Got it. And so I live holy when you're horny. How I was bringing it down to the message of it is learning how to wait, but it's wait as in the double meaning. Wait as in don't do anything. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait to hear clearly from God. Then also wait, serve while you wait, as a waiter.
Yeah, yeah.
Serving, while you wait. And so that's why I do think it's possible to be to live holy while you're horny.
Yeah.
But you
That's
got to
really
do
good.
both things. You got to wait both ways, meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are in your prisons, in jail,
Yeah.
because they were horny.
Yeah.
And they went dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They couldn't wait
Mm-hmm.
physically
Yeah.
for life to change.
Right.
So they just, hey, I'm going to do this hustle. I'm going to da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying try to stay away from these type of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you understand what
Oh,
I'm saying?
totally.
Am I making myself,
Oh,
am I
Absolutely.
clear?
Crystal clear.
So yeah, stop, don't be horny so much to where you gon', make a bad decision that's gon',
I'm gonna have
put you
to
in a place
sermon
of-
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna sermon. If it's
He's
okay,
like,
I'm
"Go for
gonna wind up because I think everybody will come to church that weekend.
Sermon series.
Sermon series.
Yeah,
Holy and horny.
yeah, it's just learning how to wait.
Desired. Yeah, your desires get you in trouble.
They get you in trouble, and you just got to wait. And so you wait because the Lord, man, He gonna come through.
Yeah.
I promise He gonna come through. But you gotta wait, and then while you're waiting, you gotta wait, serving. You gotta
you gotta be doing
you
something.
gotta be doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you wait. And
Yeah.
so that was the whole, thing.
Well, it's your
with
whole.
that.
You actually lived that out. You said
Yeah.
it earlier. You said I was a this, and then I was a
that
that.
right.
I was all these things. You didn't like. You're like, oh, I did 5 years in the middle here. 'Cause
Yeah.
I did it this way.
Yeah.
You remained on the path.
Yeah, I was working.
Even if some moments are like, oh,
Yeah, for sure.
you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Because you steady sowing, right?
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times people expect to reap what they sowed. But really, just say sow. Just sow. And then you might reap over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been sowing. You've been putting in the time. You've
Good.
been working,
Yeah.
Because even for me, the places I sowed, then I reaped comedy.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when I got into comedy, people was like, how is he getting all these shows? And how is he? Because they looking at it
Yeah,
like,
I totally
I
understand
just
that.
got in. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I did. Just got in over here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've been putting in work. I've been
Over
sowing
there.
over there.
Right.
That's good stuff.
You know what I mean?
I
Right.
totally understand.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm-
the story of my life.
Yeah.
That's the story of my life. I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't see all these years.
Yeah, you didn't see all
Yeah,
that.
no.
And you just looking at me like, man, he a new comic. He already making this
He
much
blew
money. He
up.
blew up.
Yeah.
No, bro.
No.
I've been over here.
Yeah, well-
Changing my oil in my car every 10 miles.
Yeah.
No AC. Trying to get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got them stories too.
Yeah,
know?
sweating.
Yeah, sweating. Yeah, I can't even put my shirt on. I got to hang it up.
I just saw that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just had the same story.
Me
I had to
too.
bring 2 and 3 shirts. Because I'm like, man, I didn't know. Hold on. Let me put this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so a lot of times I don't go around telling all these stories,
Yes.
so they don't know that.
Sure.
Oh, this was you.
Yeah.
I just tell it when it's time to tell it.
Yeah. Somebody else will know when you walked in the store with the sweaty shirt.
Yeah.
I know
I
that
know.
guy. He was so sweaty.
Yes. Yeah. So
That's so
you know.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
I
that
think
was
we
that
do
one.
that in everything,
Yeah.
I mean, I see it with women who are, horny to get married.
Yes.
And then it's
they'll
like
choose a
all you
bad
think
guy.
about is getting married. And like you haven't even figured out your finances. You haven't even figured out like, can you live on your own? And
Yes.
all these different things, or even in ministry, right? Where they're like, well, I want to be this and I want to be a preacher. And it's like your mind or your body freezes outside of anything else. Cause it's like, I want to be a preacher. It's like, all right, cool. Can you like commit to a schedule? Like,
Right.
can you usher for
Right.
like 2 weeks? You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Can you do
can
any of
you
that?
do
You're right.
something?
Can you do something?
But no, you're not gonna do anything because this is what you
'Cause this
want.
what you want.
really, really want this, and so it's like, yeah, the waiting and there's work
Yeah.
that has to be done in the wait.
Yep.
What is the thing you had talked about earlier that you said, let me see, I wrote it down. Grown, gray, and forgiven.
Grown, gray, forgiven. So last year, I put that on tour. So
Okay.
in the pandemic, I wrote 2 new specials.
Nice.
Okay.
Grown, Gray, Forgiven, Marriage is Major Surgery. So Grown, Gray, Forgiven was the first one because I did not take on to social media. Like I'm not a social media guy.
Yeah.
And so over the pandemic, I was able to find out why opposed to just hating it. Because I was hating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, you do social media? So?
Yeah, right. It's just like I was a hater, but I didn't know why. But when the world, when we had to isolate, or
Yeah.
is it isolate? Or when we had to, yeah.
Yeah. Lock in.
Yeah,
I
when
was
we
like,
had
we got incarcerated.
Yeah,
Everybody.
House arrest.
And so I was able now to really find out, well, why didn't I take on the social media? I've never told anybody to follow me or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
none of that. It's just not my thing. So this is what happened. Grown, Great, Forgiven. For the first reason why I ain't take on social media, because social media came after I was grown. Okay, watch this. It came after I was grown. Now, this don't mean that because you grown, you don't do it. I'm just saying it came after I was already who I wanted to be in life.
Yeah.
And I was good. Like I didn't need likes. I mean, and not that people who only need likes. I'm so not.
You didn't even know. This is a new concept.
Yeah, it was just new cut, right? And I thought it was some underground stuff too. Like I didn't know it was gonna be what it came up to be.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
I thought it was just some underground, and so people was like, "Oh, you need to get on social media." I was like, I got a job, and so I mean, you know, not even thinking, "Oh, this can further your job." Or,
Yeah,
you know, I wasn't even thinking that.
Yeah.
And then, so that was one. I talked about being grown and what grown meant to me. You know, my credit is good, and I'm straight. I don't want to. Well, I get to that.
Yeah.
So then, gray. It's a lot of gray areas of social media. Let me give you one. It's people on social media that are rich and famous,
Yeah.
but not even good. Don't miss this. They rich and famous. Everybody love them. They got all the followers. You tag, like, share, whatever.
Yeah.
But they not even good. And you don't know that they not good, and this is why. So my wife watched this show called The Voice.
Yeah.
You familiar with The Voice?
Yeah, totally.
So on The Voice, watch this, Pastor Warren. On The Voice, the judges' backs are turned around
Yeah.
to the talent.
Yeah.
The reason why their backs are turned to the talent is because they don't want to be fooled by how pretty she is, or how handsome he is,
Thank you.
or how well dressed they are.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to be fooled by nothing.
They don't want to see.
They don't want to see nothing because their backs are turned, because all they are listening for is talent. That's all.
Yeah.
They don't even turn around and pay attention to you until they know you can sing, till they know you have a voice.
Yeah.
Social media, our chairs are already turned around.
Yeah.
Wow.
So somebody who consistently give you something, you'll find it good after a while.
Yeah.
Because they giving it to you every day or every 2-3 days. They just pouring it on you. You don't even know it's not good. So then when somebody like me come around who don't know nothing about this, be like, that wasn't funny, or that wasn't good, or that wasn't deep, or that wasn't. Now they go, oh, you hating, and I'm going, I'm really not. I'm just telling. Yeah. I'm just telling you, it was not a put together performance or thought or whatever, because I'm not involved.
Yeah.
And so they give you consistent. That's the thing. So people consistent and people are engaging. So now you fall in love with people on social media. You fall in love with their life.
Yeah. You don't have your own life. You've been watching for 8 hours.
Well, I ain't gonna say right. That too. I don't want to be. I don't want to be that harsh.
Yeah.
But
I mean, right? Because you're so stuck.
Because people now they'll come to me. How is Chase, or how's my daughter Charlie, and da 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 da, and I'm going, and I'm like, oh yeah, I posted them, or so now they engulfed in my life, and I'm like, oh, I don't want you in my life now. I do comedy.
Yeah. Show up to the show.
Yeah, show up to the show, but my life, I saw a picture when you posted some in the back in your house. It was like this little, like you all in my house. I mean, and so.
Yeah.
And so it was just
that's
a lot.
That's deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just never took on, and I don't hate it because I get it. And I like what it has done for people.
Oh, totally.
It took the pandemic, though, for me to, because it was some people, Pastor Warren, Steph, that they can't even, comedians I'm talking about, can't even get on a stage before social media. But then when social media came, they was able to put it in their room and make comments about stuff, and people call this content. What some people call content, I call commentary. It's easy for me to talk about Will slapping Chris Rock. That's not my content.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And now I come on, oh yeah. So when he's people like, oh, he's so funny. That's commentary. I didn't make this up. I didn't create it. But they say they content creators. And they using other people's stuff. So the whole thing to me was just.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah, that's a very good perspective.
It don't make sense, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it now.
I mean, Yeah, it's
You
kind
know?
of like, yeah, even the thing, like, I'm not against it, but like when I said, sometimes you do catch yourself sometimes scrolling,
Oh, for sure.
you know, and it's like, whoa, man, it's like
3
it's
hours
like
and went
crack.
by. Yeah,
It's like straight crack.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
you were talking about, I experienced that too, where somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh, how was literally asking about a food?"
Yes.
And I'm completely confused. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I saw that you had gone here, and
yeah.
I was just like, oh yeah, it was great." I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, dude, I ain't posting a lot."
Yeah.
Because that's a little bit,
Yeah.
it's a little bit
Too
weird,
much. And it's what everybody's into, like,
yeah.
you know, and it can't, you know, because it's like medicine with side
For
effects.
sure. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Right?
It's a
Like,
lot
you
of
can
good
take
to it.
It's
That it
just
can be good,
knowing
but if you
that, like, okay, all right,
Yes.
if I post this,
Yes.
people gonna see it. They might ask me about it. And,
Yes.
and I'm gonna put up what I want to put up. You know?
But I'm saying, even for the person giving the content, right? Like, if you're not careful,
Mhm.
like all that
is in you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, when you're
it's-
speaking about comedians, I know stories also of the ones who did really well on social media, and then they go and do stand up, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
just
Because that's a
Yeah.
different
because
thing.
it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's
Yeah, no,
different.
'Cause
Maybe,
there's no-
maybe you're
I've
good at
seen
doing
that.
a
I've
skit,
actually-
There's
but
no
you're
filters.
Not. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah,
cut
yeah.
pace. It's none. This is when you get that mic on that stage, everybody like this.
Vice versa for ministry, right? It's like, oh, you was good at saying, this 5-second
Yeah.
message that maybe you rehearsed, stop, record.
Yeah,
Oh, delete.
for
No, I didn't
sure.
really like
Yeah.
that. And
Oh,
then you go
adding
up and
little
do
things.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can make a reel.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then when you're in a
Sizzle
room
reel.
and now you got to preach or now you have to teach.
Yeah.
And
Or
it's
your
like,
life has to. That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because preaching, when you think about preaching and all that, that's cool. I mean, that is being delivered so that someone can get saved and know Jesus, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can do a real good reel
Yeah.
and this be jacked up, and that's where in the preaching
Yeah.
world, that's where I get like, oh, come
Yeah.
on, man, like try to live it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of the biggest things, what helped the Grown Great Forgiving joint was a lady. I talk about this on that show. How a lady reached out to me to counsel her and her fiance,
Yeah,
and I told her I'm not a counselor, right?
yeah.
She was like, yeah, but I listened to the radio when I was on the radio and how you talk about your wife on the radio. And I think, me and my fiance can benefit from you. So I was like, yeah, but I ain't no counselor, that's not my thing, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'll pay you. Well, wait a minute. God, is this you?
You, creator of the trees,
Yeah.
and now the dollar.
Here's being horny.
Yeah.
Oh, is that you, God? Yeah, that's you. So I said, okay. And so me and my wife, we sat and did a Zoom with the people. So that's when I say people are rich and famous and not even good. I was talking about me. Not that I was rich and famous from this, but I'm just saying somebody was willing to pay me money. I'm not qualified. I'm not
Right.
certified. Not nothing. They just checking me out on here, and you going to pay me to counsel
Yeah.
you and your fiance.
Yeah.
And not that I don't have anything good to say.
I think you did pretty
Yeah.
good.
But
at
I'm pretty sure
You're
I
like-
did okay. But what I'm saying is so
Yeah,
many
I hear
other
what you're
people
saying.
If you
that
don't know,
I
yeah.
understand.
If you don't know any
Yeah.
better, if you're not at least honest with yourself.
yeah, because I'm even
right?
telling her, hey, I'm not a counselor. I'm telling them I'm not a counselor. I only can share with y'all with me and my you know what I'm
And
saying?
they're like, we're good. We'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
right. So, but I'm not around here now like I'm a counselor.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you need
Yeah.
counseling.
Major heart surgery.
Major.
No, yeah.
I'm here for you.
You tell some people that's great life advice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
too many times, and then they got
Yeah,
life coaching
exactly. It's
bio.
now it's
Oh
life
no,
coach.
that happens all the time.
Yeah.
In everything.
Because I started
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah. Oh no,
I
yeah.
did.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
because it was, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
I done it. The that's my thing. Real relationship, not relationship. Real relationship
We need to bring
expert.
them on once a quarter
Yeah.
for real relationship.
draw up the contract.
God is, oh man.
It must
So-
be the Lord.
yeah, that's how you know then. He always tap into the horny side, right? He would always try to tap in so that you
Always.
could go after that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay. So I wanted to final question. So
Come on.
I want you to speak into, like, with everything you know now,
Mm-hmm.
if you were gonna give advice to someone, because we're talking a lot about marriage
Yeah.
and surgery and relationships in this podcast today, and then what would be your advice to like a male or female, like you know, they single,
Yeah.
and what would be just advice to them that you would give them, you know, even if it doesn't have to do with marriage and stuff, what would you just tell a single person?
If it don't have to do with marriage, or are we talking about marriage?
Should we hit him with marriage or not
Sure,
marriage?
hit us with both.
Hit us
Okay.
both.
Well, I think so in my show right now, I start off like somewhere in the intro talking about marriage is not for everybody. Okay, it's just not. You know, I grew up in the church, and back in the day, churches, they wanted everybody to get married. That's just how it was. They just wanted it, man, get married. It's like, hey, come join this. Come join us, you know. And if you wasn't married, you was like a leper.
Yeah.
You know, it was like,
You okay?
are you okay?
I would have found her one day.
Yeah, man, what's going on? And so I say in the show how, you know, if you have a problem forgiving people, marriage is not for you. Right? And you ought to see the people. Yeah. If you have a problem forgiving people, I wouldn't get married. If you somebody who only give 3 strikes, oh, you only can mess over me. You're gonna do me wrong 3 times.
You out.
And you gone. I said, don't get married. If you are somebody who come into the marriage with deal breakers, you already know what's gonna kill the deal. You already know. Yeah, if he do this, if she do this, I'm gone. Don't get married. I start off the show like this here because I'm letting you know all this stuff that you think you know and you think you know about yourself as it relates to man. Hey man, all that's about to be out the window now. And all that's about to be out the window. Because watch this. Because God, who says he's married to the backslider. Right? That's in the Bible. He uses his relationship with us as a marriage. He say he's married to us. We're the backsliders. Which means he hooks up with us already knowing he gonna spend the rest of his life forgiving us.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Already. He already know.
Yeah. Imperfect people.
I hooked up with somebody imperfect.
Yeah.
I love him that much. I'm down with him that much. So I'm here. Repent. I'm here. I ain't gonna leave you. I'm not gonna forsake you.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
So and that's and we find it very difficult. And of course we're human, so I'm not tripping, but I'm saying that's the biggest thing. Forgiving people. And so if we can work on, you know, especially knowing I need forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, it's the people who need it that have a problem giving. That have a problem giving it. I can see if you didn't need it. Oh, I don't need it, so I don't give it. But we need it.
We need it.
So that's what I would tell.
Yeah. Some of the single folk.
Single folk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would tell single folk.
If you could, life lesson. I was gonna do a married one, but I think this one's good. We're gonna take it back to like a dear younger me.
Dear younger me.
Yeah. Good. Tell him, Stephanie. Tell him the dear younger me thing.
Dear younger me. So, you know, we
just gonna bring it back. We're
Throw
gonna
back
throw it
from
back.
season 1. We put you in a DeLorean and you go back to a younger version of yourself.
I'm in a DeLorean.
Yeah, you're gonna go back to the dude with the white hair. Hey, Marcus, get in.
If
Back
you
to
could
the
go back
future.
to any age, right? Any
Yeah.
version of yourself. It could be a year ago. It could be, 20 years ago. What would you tell yourself and why? What piece of advice would you
Life
tell yourself?
lesson with Marcus D.
20 years
Wale.
ago?
You would go 20?
No.
No, any age.
Any.
You
could
tell
go,
me
you could
where
go
you
1
want to
year
go.
and tell us about a lesson that you've learned from a year ago and what would you do different. You can go 10, 5, 3, or 30.
Or you can be like, you know what? At 23, I needed to hear this or
Because
whatever.
what would you say to you? Because it could be, it's a life lesson. Maybe it's something you've just learned. And how far back would you go with what you know now
Yeah.
to tell you, don't do that.
Yeah. Trying to see.
So many lessons.
Yeah. I mean, because they all were, it was like I needed them all. So that's why.
No, but that's good.
Yeah.
But what would you say to yourself with what you know? Because somebody right now is going to go through, we're all human.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's like, that's where I'm at right now.
You know what? I got a better one.
Okay.
And this was last year.
Nice. I like those.
I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
Last year.
Last year. Nice.
So last year I'm on tour, Grown Great Forgiven tour,
Nice.
and I'm at this church. I don't want to put it out there.
Don't do that.
No,
but
no.
their name. No.
No.
But it rhymes with. No kidding.
No, but they one of the churches that I frequent.
Yeah.
The church, and so what
You said
happened
frequent.
that I frequent, like meaning
Okay,
they
good.
they book.
I thought you. I thought you said one of the churches I frequent.
Oh wow! Hey, he said clean comedy. I freak with them.
I freak.
freak
Yeah, I
with
was like,
them.
well, I mean,
I
it's
freak
cool.
with them. You
That
know.
sounds
Yeah, I got
cooler.
it. It's cool.
It
It's
sounds cool.
Now, one of the churches that I attend regularly, and they book me regularly. And what happened was, the pandemic had drained me as it relates to, financially, because I'm not a social media guy.
Yeah.
So the people on social media were still getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm a person-to-person, face-to-face guy.
Yeah.
And I couldn't travel. I couldn't go make the money. So all the money that I had saved, money that was saved, I'm using it to, pay bills and, and all that, take care of my grandparents and my mom. And, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
So I go to this church and the pastor was transitioning. He was giving the church to his son. So they had a big weekend. And they had me there on Friday night to do the service, host it, and then on Sunday I did Sunday morning service.
You preach the.
No, I do comedy.
Okay, yeah,
comedy. Yeah, on Sundays. And so what ended up happening was the pastor was like, man, Marcus, man, appreciate you all these years. You've been coming to us. Watch this. You've been coming to us, and man, we just thankful for you. When in his pocket, he gives me $500. He said, man, when you get home, go take your wife out to eat. Take her to dinner, man. On me, man. So boom, he gave me $500. Okay, cool. Another person on staff was like, hey, they're gonna give you some extra money. And I was like, oh yeah, pastor had already. He was like, he gave it to you already. I was like, he gave me some money, Ooh. Oh, okay. So I do the second service on Sunday. I have two Sunday services. Do the second one. They come, the new pastor, his son, hey, Marcus, man, we just appreciate you, right? Man, we love you, man. We just want to give you extra. They gave me extra envelope. Now, watch this. I want to show you something. It was paid $7,500 to be there that weekend. $7,500.
Start being comic, but go ahead.
It's paid $7,500 to be there that weekend.
That's nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I get the envelope. I said, thank you. I put it in my backpack. They take me to the airport because I'm getting ready to fly back home. I'm eating in the restaurant at the airport before my flight. I grab the envelope. I open the envelope. It's $22,500 in this envelope, which now makes this a $30,000 500 weekend.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I can't stop the tears. The waitress is like, "Are you okay?"
Oh no, shit. No.
Like, are you? I said,
I want to cry right now.
said-
and it wasn't even me.
Yeah,
I'm on.
I said, I'm not okay. I said, I'm not, but it's not nothing bad. I called my wife. My wife, she crying on the phone, everything. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because
That's unbelievable.
it's
It's a great
because
weekend.
in the pandemic, I was like, man, God, I'm getting older. All the money that I saved, I done ran through. I'm like, bro, I ain't complaining. I'm just saying,
Oh man.
yeah. I mean, and that moment showed me that God was like, bro, I'm grown. This is what God told me. I'm grown. I do what I want to do, when I want to do it,
Wow.
and how I want to do it. I got you. Don't worry about how stuff gonna get done. Cause I'm like, I'm 50 now.
Oh no, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm right here.
Not that I'm getting like it's the end, but I'm just saying, you know, you see the social media, I ain't really take on to it. I'm just looking at everything like
I start crying. I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, but he was just like, bro, I'm grown.
Yeah.
I do what I want to do. When I want to do it. And how I want to do it.
Right.
And that's
what I would tell.
That's what I would tell a younger me. Relax. God's grown. He do what he want to do.
That's good.
That's
fire.
fire. That's real
yeah,
fire.
Yeah.
Because we need that reminder.
Yeah.
We need that reminder, and I think the older we get, depending on the life, right? Because if like let's say you're Will Smith's son or something, you probably ain't like God.
Yeah. Right.
He good.
He good. He good.
But maybe in other areas, right?
Yeah.
But like I think that happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Where we like trust God over here, and then all of a sudden you wind up in a thought.
And a thought, just
you're like, oh man. But that right there is it's amazing how he wants to do it. Yes, that's so
and how
true.
he want to do it? Because we want him to do it the way we want him to do it. 30,000 is 30,000.
Yeah.
I don't care if they email it. I mean, not email it. They wire it.
Yeah.
If
hey,
they
email it. Hey, look, a picture. You're like, no, that ain't good. Don't email it.
Don't email it. But
Yes.
it's 30,000. And not that money replaced all the money. It just showed me though that, bro, I got you.
And one thing that
that
was kind of stuck out to me when you said that was what you said from the beginning, right? Was wait, while that's happening.
Yeah.
So something you said, we were like, I had to use this money because it's not really about the money, but I get what you're saying.
Right.
I had to use this money because I had to pay my bills, and I'm still helping and support my grandparents, and this and that. So it's like other people might take that and be like, well, I can't, but you continue to do faith, right?
For sure.
So
yeah, and I'm gonna give you a
30,000
kudos.
Oh, kudos. Okay.
Hey, this. Hey, listen.
God, touch your heart.
I'm gonna go, and I'm like, here's a Papa Do's.
Hey, gotta eat.
Hey, look, he's like, you give me that card too. Don't think that.
Yeah, right.
That's gonna save me some of that 30. Because if not, I gotta reach in. But I since I've known you, you've had this larger than life. God's created you exactly the way you're supposed to be. But something that I know that maybe it's not talked about much, but I know because I just know, right? That during this journey, you said it earlier, as Stephanie was saying, you said it earlier where you were like, I had to do this, I had to do this. And there's probably a lot of times that you had thoughts of maybe to do this, but you remained whether you were getting paid a little,
for sure,
right? Because dude, like, man, I'm funny, man. I got this thing. I could go, or I could go hustle, because I'm sure we all know somebody that
for
can
sure
get us in the game. Even now, even right now, easy. Like, I'll just do that for a month. I could build a church like this. And then, after that, this don't sound crazy, but right. And so all of a sudden, all through this life, even in your comedy, I'm pretty sure there was times where maybe the comedy didn't look like it was taking off. You didn't get that 30.
Yeah.
Here you go. You're like, oh, okay. Was it not funny? But that's just where you were at.
Sure.
And in that time, you could have went to a cussing comic.
Yes.
You could have. You know how to cuss.
I know exactly.
Right?
How to cuss.
You could
be clear.
So easily have opted out and not become the guy and the man that can say with his chest, like, I believe in Jesus, I still do this, I love my wife, I still do comedy. No, I don't cuss like that in my comedy. You can bring anybody to the show and they're gonna have a great time.
For sure.
Right? So I gotta give you kudos for that, because I know that those times must have came through all these years of like, the enemy trying to get you horny on you can make $3 million if you just say this.
Yes.
And you're like, man, I know how to say that.
I know how to say it.
I know how to say that, and I got a good joke for it. I thought it. I just haven't said it.
Yeah.
Right? So, man, big shout out to all that God is doing in your life, man. That is just incredible. Yeah. Real quick, where can they find out? Like, they're like, man, I like this guy. Can we, two things. Yeah. Can they, where can they see your stops? Because you're about to jump on some big things. Does everybody know what, like, that next part? You've mentioned it out.
Yeah, on tour with my guy Ali Sadiq. He's
Yeah,
moving
that's
to
incredible.
theaters all next year. So he used to do comedy clubs.
Yeah.
He's finishing the year with the clubs, but now he's moving to theaters. And his first tour is called "I Got a Story to Tell," and I'll be on that. And
That's
it's like
fire.
about
That's
about 60 dates.
Wow.
Man, that's
60, 70
incredible.
dates.
That's why we're trying to get you in January before,
Yeah.
here in February before, get them now, because the price is probably, I'm on them right now. I'm trying to, hey, you're like in 2028, look, we're just putting that now in the contract here before this, because I know God's going to do incredible things.
Yeah.
And one more thing, like, is there a place where they could go and let's say like, and maybe this is a thought, but you got these guys, a lot of now incarcerated guys, they can actually like, they got iPads, they could actually
iPads,
buy movies, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, some wild stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any comedy that maybe they just look up Marcus D. Wiley, like YouTube and stuff, they can find
Yeah,
some
YouTube,
comedy?
definitely.
Right?
On Marcus D. Wiley, yeah, you can't miss me on YouTube. Somebody done put something on it.
Yeah. And maybe it's something that, maybe do a comic show for somebody out there,
Yeah.
maybe in the social media world. Just, he don't even go out. He just, he waiting for the comedy show to happen. Man, thank you so much.
Thank y'all for having me.
For being here, and you heard it here, Marcus D. Wiley, man. Thank you for being a real one, and thank you to all the real ones out there, man.
For sure.
Peace.
And that's a wrap. Thank you. This is Real Family for joining us. You can be a part of the crew by following us on social media or writing us at P.O. Box 671-626, Houston, Texas 77267.
And don't forget, stay real.